Okay, this is the meeting of the Bylaw Advisory Committee. This is Thursday, June 20th, at 10 a.m., 10:05 a.m. So we'll start our meeting, calling it to order. All right, next agenda item, public comments. Seeing none, we'll move on. Approval of the minutes of our last meeting of June 7th, and on your packet here, it's on the back page of the agenda. I'm trying to save trees. I did back to back. Okay.
Question. I thought that under Article 6, General Government, we had talked about, I just didn't read the last phrase there. That's fine. I overlooked what you said about the select board. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay then. Motion to approve?
Moved.
Second. Okay. Thank you. Any other comments, discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Can I ask, since Janine isn't here, can someone take some notes just on this?
Okay.
Just to keep us on.
Can you do that, or do you want me to?
I'll do it. I'm not the best note taker about.
Just even just a summary of what we did and what we plan to do.
Right.
That will do. And the time we open and the time we close.
Okay.
And the next meeting. I mean, it's pretty strict.
What time did you show?
10:05.
10:05. Okay.
Yeah, you can just scribble on the agenda we already have, and that keeps it clean. Okay. Item 4, follow up with the town administrator's review of the unlawful noise bylaw. I do have that. I didn't get anything back in writing. It was when I went in and I just asked him, where are we? The question was, is it a new bylaw? And I said, no, it wasn't, but it was kind of a new and improved bylaw on noise. His only comment was the fact that we did not cite decibels, which we did when I lifted the language from another town. That the fact that we didn't cite decibels, it was not really enforceable, okay, because you have to be that specific. And if we wanted to cite decibels, then we'd have to talk about enforcement, and then the most challenging part of that is that we would have to buy very expensive equipment to measure the decibels. So it sounds like it may be a little bit out of our reach, other than if we were to kind of caution. I don't know how to say it. If we could go back, not right now, but go back, and I'm thinking, how else could we say this about kind of this, which we said, disturbing the peace and the tranquility, without being that specific. But he said if we didn't have decibels, that
He said it couldn't be enforced.
Right. They have to have some measurement, and in order to measure it, you need to buy this. You need people to do it.
I wonder how other towns do it.
Pardon?
I wonder how other towns do. They actually measure it with
meters? I got it from, I think, Granby.
Okay.
Or a couple, I could go back in my papers and find where I got it. I'm assuming that that's how they do it. I think I may have gotten it from the state.
Okay.
The state.
The town of Hadley all the time is you know, because of this.
The college town,
The
yes.
college, a lot of college students
Yeah.
live there.
Yeah.
And they're forever enamored too
Yeah.
with the noise, but I don't know whether they're measuring it or not.
And maybe that's why our original version was as vague as it was. I don't know. Because it was
Yeah.
like a tiny paragraph. It was
Can you
less
show
specific.
me what we ended up with in what we submitted to Ed, what that,
Okay.
now, I'm not sure if I got the right one.
The noise.
Yeah.
Because what does chapter 310 CMR 752, or chapter 111
Yeah.
mean? I mean, what is the actual law?
We'll have to go
They
back.
probably don't
Well,
have
the
an
definition,
amount
well,
in
but
there.
right,
Yeah.
well, the definition that's in here, at least in one of the documents I've got, and I don't, it may have, taken it out of context, but just has a definition that's not measured. It says,
Right.
Sound of sufficient intensity and or duration as to cause to contribute
Right.
to a condition of air pollution, although that's kind of awkward.
Right.
Call it air pollution.
Here's one piece. I'm trying to think.
Mine was
So is Ed saying we can't enforce unless we have to, unless we...
Well,
have
he
it
said
measured,
that
or-
what would we do to enforce it
Yeah, okay.
if we are not identifying, I guess, a measurement, and then enforcing it is dependent on the measurement, and the measurement requires equipment.
But I thought, in my thought,
Yeah.
we're identifying it through the amount of how loud it is, not, that's how I feel, that it's disturbing to people.
But what's disturbing to one may not be disturbing
True,
to others. So you
true,
need
but-
some kind of a threshold.
I mean,
I
yeah,
kind of agree with Lucy, I mean, and both of you, I mean, it may have to be.
No, this was what I pulled. This is from the state, but sure you can look at it.
I mean, we actually did define it in saying excessive noise produced by
Yes.
produced by motor vehicle engines or exhaust, excessive amplified audio systems.
I think in
So-
certain situations, it could be difficult
Yeah,
to enforce because
Right.
it's subjective.
Right,
But
but-
let me just point out something that we've done here. I mean, and I'm not sure I'm looking at the right version, but there's several places in which we talk about during the time.
right.
So if something is done at 11, there's not much argument.
Right.
Really, someone said, well,
Right.
I'm just whistling to my dog. I mean,
Yeah.
that shouldn't be disturbing anyone.
Right.
My feeling is it'd be nice to research it more. I don't know if we can't really go, sure we go for Ed's head, but we may want to see what Hadley does. I don't know how we find that out. With the
You could
students.
just go on
Amherst-
town
Amherst as
website.
well.
You can go and read their bylaws.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I looked at Westfields and they had everything broken down by decibels.
Yeah.
But then you bring up the issue of having the equipment to measure it, and how do you measure it?
Okay, so I have Hadley's right here in front of me.
Okay.
And it says, the maximum allowable sound levels for continuous noise in each district shall be as follows. They are measured, the measured sound level shall be the average readings for fluctuations less than 6 decibels and 3 decibels less than the maximum for fluctuations greater than 6
So they do,
decibels.
but they do measure
So,
in terms of decibels.
Yeah.
But is that for everything?
It says readings shall be taken using the fast response setting of the meter, except that when the fluctuations are so rapid as to make reading difficult, the slow response setting may be used. It just says, do you want me to make you a copy of this? Do you want me to-
Here we
That-
have, and
that was
here's the
helpful.
Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Yeah, we have
Talks
air
about
too.
Three
I'll go make a copy.
or more decibels, yes.
Okay.
You have that too?
But-
Or you want it? Okay.
But it raises interesting questions because the way that some of these are
Right
written,
back.
I mean, they're different from one to the next. I mean, we intend, it seems like the intent is that the way we wrote it was that certain these might be measured differently than others if they were to be measured. That there's not one common standard, assuming that we had decibels. But I doubt that Hadley probably does not have a different decibel standard for each type of noise.
Well, Westfield did,
They did?
if I
Okay.
remember right. I can't find this in my mess here. So, if I remember right, yeah, there's this amount for the airplanes from Barnes, and I don't know how they're going to stop that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess there would be, yeah.
But they're not constant.
Right.
Well, I imagine that there have been court decisions, and that's where Ed is coming
Yeah.
from on,
Oh, I'm sure.
on this. And if some of the towns already do have the decibel levels, even though it's a pain, I imagine that.
Hi.
Hello.
I mean, we can, hi.
Lucy just wants me to let you know that she will be up in a few minutes. She's a customer and
Okay,
so she'll be back.
yeah,
Okay.
Hi.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we want to revisit this in a few minutes when she's back? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
if she wanted to.
Yeah, so, yeah, she went to make the copies, all right, so.
But which copy do you know which one we ended up with?
The best way for me to tell is go back to my computer at home and see which, because, we've had several rewrites.
Right. Yeah, and I should start writing on these,
And,
the latest and the date.
and what the latest date was, and that's really how I can tell. I tried going through this stuff, and it's just, I have so many versions of everything, our own and everybody else's, so. But,
Yeah, well, if you do that, can you make a
yes,
copy again?
yeah, I will do that. One of the things I need to find out is the fact that, hi, Chris. How are you?
Good.
I mentioned before the meeting started that
Pop in, thanks.
perhaps
Hi,
we
Chris.
were
Hi, how are
doing
you?
a discussion, and I talked to Ed a little bit, and he saw the reason why he was going to be on this, and if I bring it up on Tuesday, and the select board approves, then we can go ahead with having Chris join our committee
Yeah.
as another
Good.
worker bee, because we sure do need it.
This is not an easy committee, I'm aware of that, just in terms of what you have to do.
Have to
I
do
don't know
here.
how many years
The
this has
committee's
gone
easy,
on.
but the work is.
The work is hard, there we go. Yeah.
It started when Heather was the town
Oh, my, yeah.
administrator.
It goes back a way.
Goes a ways, yeah.
So I just gave you the
Okay.
agenda with the minutes, and we're waiting for Lucy. One of the things she's doing is copying over some regulations on noise, because we thought we had it finished. I ran it by Ed. His feeling was it was not specific enough by indicating excessive noise by decibel level.
Oh, okay.
And then we would need people to enforce it and equipment to measure it, none of which we have. So we are trying to think, is there another way that we can just define what we consider to be sounds that we would be disruptive, and maybe put some times around
Well, is there
some
not,
of those
is there not
activities.
a start and end time in terms of
Well, that's what
noise?
we're trying, that's what we're
There,
doing.
we had done that for certain types of noises.
Yeah.
Certain things would be any time of day, such as, quote, excessively amplified audio systems.
But she's making some copies, so we'll get to that. So then, while she's doing that, do you want to move on and just review what I captured as our changes to the treasurer collector section, which is part of the package that I gave you? It should be this last page. Based on these great notes that I took here. What we try to do is divide it up so that one person hopefully doesn't end up doing it all among, after we discuss it, make the changes to existing. I did give this to Jen, I haven't heard back. She told me next week.
By the way, did Ed indicate how expensive decibel equipment is?
No, he just said,
That's virtually prohibitive for a budget.
I didn't ask. I mean, everything is, you know, prohibitive. I mean, but I can inquire, we can find out.
Yeah, but that may be important. The problem I would have would be, we'll see how the other towns have done it, but if we're ending up with a different decibel level, that the only way it makes sense is to have different ones for different types of noises at different times of day. Then you're ending up with something that, number one, just seems complex. And number two is people can argue with, you know, is that the right decibel level? Why not have it 1 decibel lower, 1 decibel higher, without knowing even what it is? I mean, I don't know what 6 decibels is.
I agree.
Neither. How much is a decibel? You know, how much higher than the...
Yeah. So,
And then it would require somebody to go by that place at a certain time and
measure
with a device and measure it, right?
Right.
Which,
Yeah.
you know, if somebody knew you were coming
Right.
by, they could, I mean,
Yeah.
well, obviously, you'd have to do it unannounced, I'm sure, but I mean, it would just be,
Yeah, but you still would have them coming by anyways, to check if you call with a complaint. The loud party going on is 2 a.m. That's been going on for a while.
Yeah, I think they're just some general rules of,
I'm so sorry.
it's okay.
I got caught up by someone.
And maybe with less specificity, I don't know. So Lucy, I was saying that, here, I'll share this one.
If you look it up, then I will.
Oh, this is the one. Oh, I already have, no, this is a different one.
So the decibel levels are mentioned where?
On
This
the
is Hadley.
second
Yeah.
page, or third page, right there, second.
Yeah.
Yep, page 3, yep.
And I left my pen.
You know, I'm surprised, I just looked here, I'm surprised that in the exemptions, they didn't exempt farm. Because didn't we have that in ours?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Farm noise. And
Oh,
they're
I think
much
that
more-
was because of, Janine had mentioned the roosters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're much more farming than we are.
Yeah.
it happened, yeah.
Well,
You know what's weird is this? Why is the writing? Oh, this is air, not Hadley. This is
Yes.
air.
But it says Hadley at the top here.
Yeah, I know, but it's not. It's a different piece of paper.
it says Town of Hadley.
Right,
Yeah.
but if you look at the writing, this font is different. And if you look down, you can see when a property line is also a town of Air zoning district.
Okay, yes.
So why is that?
It's just the way that it was stapled together.
Yes, that's what it looks like.
That's the copy that I had in my file.
You get 2 pages from air and,
Yeah, it doesn't begin, I mean.
It doesn't begin with air,
But we had both.
We had both, yeah,
Hadley,
we had
Air.
both. So that's Air, but where's,
Oh, but the Hadley, I wonder if it's really
would that be
just 2
complete?
pages.
Is it just that?
It's just-
so this is the first page of Air, which looks like this.
Here,
Yes, that's the one. Yep,
this is Air.
yep, that's Air.
And this,
So Hadley is only this one sheet. So if you separate them, Jonathan, that first page is Hadley, that's Hadley,
Yeah,
and then
These are Air.
those are Air, missing this first
The
page.
first page of airs.
So
yeah.
you didn't get that one?
But is Hadley just 2 pages or?
Yeah, just, yep,
Front and back?
yeah, back, yep,
That's-
that's what, yep.
and they don't mention the decibels.
They don't mention decimals.
Right, and we use some of
decibels.
their language.
Yeah,
But-
Yes, that was.
But the thing,
I
but
apologize
air is
for
so
that.
specific about even where you measure it,
Yeah.
that gets to be a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
But what often happens, I guess, is there are court cases that say someone's freedom is being abridged and the statute is too vague. And that might have been a concern
But at the
about
same-
some of these statutes
but at the same time,
before
you-
they got specific.
At the same time, you don't want to make it so specific with so many options that it's impossible to enforce as well. I mean, that's the problem with a lot of policies. You can put everything in the sun under them, but, you know, if you can't enforce it, it's pretty useless, you know? So this,
Westfield had all the decibels, and they had it including the airport noises. Now, how are you going to tell the federal government?
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can't put
right.
up-
Yeah.
fly over my house at a certain,
Yeah.
well, but they have hours, right, where the
Right.
flyovers.
Well, and
shouldn't
so don't
happen, right?
we.
So, yeah,
I mean,
so
we have
that's the best you can
hours
do,
that, yeah.
probably.
But, so, well, I guess we got to look into it further,
Okay.
but my
I think so too.
My concern is, and one of the things I brought up, Chris, was that we got different times for things. So, you know, it may be you measure things differently at different times, and that's even different decibel levels for that.
Yep.
So I'll just throw this out. I don't know where I would eventually end up in our discussion, but it seems to me that it's possible. Sometimes you can have it in, and at least it tells people what our goals are. And then we worry about an enforcement issue later on. Because I assume that we don't have any real problems in Southampton on this, that somehow people learn to get along with each other. There's sometime obvious, I mean, it always gets to the point that someone makes a big fuss and keeps going, one way or the other. The person who complains or the person who's complained about. But maybe at that point, you decide what to do. I have a feeling that push came to shove, that we wouldn't enforce it if someone is just really outspoken about it, and then we reconsider the matter, and we're not necessarily worse off than we were before we even had the bylaw. That's just a thought. I'm not, as I said, I don't know that whether I would stay with that thought, but it's just something to consider.
I definitely agree that we need to have something
Yeah.
on
Oh,
notes
I agree.
that talks about
Absolutely.
anything that's really disruptive about
Yes.
the hours and
I
and
agree.
so on. And so much of it is, I believe, common sense.
Yeah.
If people want to take it further, I mean, if someone were to want to litigate that, then we'd need the decibel thing.
Right.
I think,
Right.
to file a complaint, to ask people to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If,
I mean, maybe there could be like a suggested decibel level not to exceed or something like that.
but we
without-
still need to
Yeah,
measure.
yeah.
Yeah, we need to measure because we have it in here
Yeah.
where it's not disrupting
Okay.
extremely
And
loud.
what's too loud for some is not
Right,
loud, too loud
exactly.
for others. I
Yeah.
mean, that's where we
Right.
get into the.
Right.
And if this can be at least a guide to people, without saying that, but they look and I'm having a party. I mean, what time do I have to have do we have to turn down the music at 9 or 10, look at it, and I think we wrote it at 11, maybe.
Yep.
So at least that's some type of guide, because a lot of people are going to want to comply, you know, and not upset their neighbors.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think we should look it over again. I think we should really still stick with some,
I do
Right.
too.
Oh, yeah.
And-
setting some
Absolutely. I
parameters
do.
around noise.
Yep.
Maybe with a little, less, I thought we were not
Yeah.
that specific.
Yeah.
I mean, we identified sound sources and things like that and times. So let's see. And if it isn't enforceable, it isn't, but at least we have some guidelines that you
Right.
would hope that people would follow.
Yeah. The Hadley one seems a little not comprehensive in my mind, I guess I would say. I mean, we're talking about, the animal noises, keeping of any animal or bird causing continued noise, whatever, disturbing the comfort of any person. I mean, that's wide open. I mean,
Yeah.
if you had a beef with your neighbor and they happen to have a chicken or a rooster or whatever, you could just make life difficult just
Well,
because of that. You know? So I mean,
yeah.
you've got to figure out
You
how
got to
to.
temper it in some way.
Yeah. You know.
Well, can you bring next time what you have on your computer is
Yes.
where we ended up? And at least we can take a look at that.
I want to look into some sound meters too. I wonder how much they are.
Pardon?
How costly are they, sound meters? I'm gonna look
I don't
into
know.
it. I'm going to look into it.
Sounds good.
But then you need to have someone come out and measure
I know,
it. And it
I
has to
know.
occur
I'm just
at that
curious to
time.
see
And
how
then
much
yeah.
and how much, Maybe I'll look into other small towns too.
But then we'd have to set the limits.
Then
Yeah.
we'd have to put the
And how do we
decibels in.
Yeah,
come with that?
true,
Now,
true.
did you,
Yeah.
were you reading, or someone reading what the statute says? Whether, do they set decibel levels?
The Mass
State.
GL is, what did I do with it? We do have it, you have it right
Yes.
there. I have it right there too.
I would think on some of our equipment, you'd be able to find,
says-
like somebody that had
Here.
a leaf blower, for example.
Okay.
That would probably, on the equipment specs, would tell you what the decibel level would be. Maybe, I mean,
Right, but I wonder whether the state indicates.
It does not
that-
indicate a
okay.
number. It
Well,
does
that's
not.
good.
Here it says something, the guidance for the facility should not produce a tone, condition, property line, or nearest inhabited buildings. A pure tone exists if the sound pressure level at any given octave band center frequency
No.
exceeds the levels of 2 adjacent octave bands by 3 or more decibels.
So it
That's the
does.
state?
So it does. Oh, the state does. Oh.
Yeah.
But is that mandated for all towns, or can they opt out of that and do something different?
Well, if we didn't adopt, we don't have a noise bylaw, so we haven't adopted that.
Well, there's sometimes you don't have, but sometimes you don't have choice
Choice,
Yeah.
as
right,
to
yeah,
what
right.
applies.
Right.
And sometimes you are exempt,
Right.
and sometimes you have to take affirmative action one way or the other to know, to decide whether
Yeah,
to.
and then here it says, here it's 10 decibels weighted for a quote-unquote scale due to the sound from the, they're taking in, I guess, adjacent industrial sites and, I mean,
And that's too much to ask
Is that what you're,
of
sorry.
anyone in any small town, and maybe even some cities. I mean, that takes a large department and stuff, and you have to evaluate, you
becomes
have
the
to
other
have
thing.
people with a quantitative or engineering background, and it's almost a full-time job.
and where would this fall? Board of Health,
Are you,
police?
yeah, are you reading this? Are you reading this? Because I have this. Is this the same thing? Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection,
Noise
Noise
control.
Control Regulation. Yeah, okay. Yep,
The layout is just,
yeah, different, yeah.
so it does get quite,
Complicated.
all
Yeah.
right, when I thought we had that done.
I know,
Well-
me too.
Again, I mean, one possibility is just first take another look at it, and if we want it in substantially the form that we have it, go ahead
Yeah,
with it, and then just see what other people say. I mean, there's pros and cons, and it might be that there's enough pros there that we don't need to worry that the decibel, it just seems like you're raising so many, you're doing it because you put the decibels in and everything because you want to be able to enforce.
right.
On the other hand, you just may not have the manpower, resourcefulness, and it gets so complicated that it makes a mockery out of enforcement. So it might be better just to, if people want to do it, just go ahead and put something in there that at least kind of sets, without, at least, at the very least, it's guidelines, what we have in there. It doesn't necessarily read as that, it reads as the bylaw, but it may end up, because of problems with enforcement, that it's just guidelines. But I think it'll be helpful. I mean, I look
I
at
agree.
bylaws from time to time, being a relatively newer resident of the town, such as when we wanted to put up political signs, an election, last year, the first time, we looked and saw what the standard was, for that, how many
yes.
feet and everything. So, I think a number of people who do that, obviously not everyone does.
The Belchertown noise bylaw says violation of this chapter shall be subject to non-criminal disposition pursuant to the provisions of MGL Chapter 40 for purposes of non-criminal disposition, and the penalty applied in the event of violation shall be a written warning for the first offense. And then $150 for second offense, $300 for each subsequent.
Well, we're keeping our fee schedule separate, that we,
Oh, I know.
but everything else, it's just,
But Yeah.
But if you did that, then we'd have to have a provision. I forgot whether
Right,
we did that.
yeah.
That said that it would,
Right.
there is a fee schedule that would be set.
Yes.
It shows, and we reference it in the treasurer collector
Right, yeah.
piece. Okay.
Darn.
So what we'll do is I will read out the latest version. Again, I should have brought my laptop, and I didn't. And that's where it is.
That's okay.
So,
That's right.
and I have all these papers, and that's all.
Me too.
So that means we can move on to Article 5.
Yeah, so let's go on to Article 5, which was, this is the summary of what we talked
Yeah.
about last time, the changes. I hope I captured them all on the treasurer collector.
I have something else that I thought we'd agreed to for the last sentence. That's a little,
Okay.
it's the same idea, but it mentioned the regional school district. That it would, the treasurer collector is also responsible for all required payments to the regional school district and to their government
Okay.
and to other government entities.
Okay, I have that as the last sentence, so I got it, but I put it in the wrong place. So the treasurer collector is also say that again, where?
He's also responsible, so the last sentence in number 1, where you have, the
Right.
treasurer collector is also responsible for takeout, assessments, the words assessments and. So it says for all required payments, and then I would add, because people wanted to put in to the regional school district.
So just move that forward.
Okay.
Take out the words assessments and,
Okay,
those two
the
words.
regional school district.
and then it will say for all required payments, and add the words to the regional school district
The
capitalized.
dispensation, and then where I have regional school district, I'll strike it.
Yes,
What?
It's up above.
it's above it.
Oh, I
That's
got
where
it,
she had
yeah,
it.
I see.
So,
Yeah, to the regional school.
Okay.
Well, that's, yeah.
So
To the
you
regional
wanted
school
better.
district. Well, I haven't, well, that's just what I had in my notes.
Yeah.
So I haven't.
I have it too, but the problem
Yeah.
in my notes is I didn't put an arrow where it was to go. That's why I put it
Okay.
where I did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll take it out.
I think it would make sense because
So just,
although how you have it, I think also works well, you know?
Okay.
And the town scholarships, I see, that was in what we had before.
Right.
Earlier.
Right,
So let me just take a look at it.
okay. And then I'd like to talk about town scholarships.
yeah, and I would say if you take out, leave town scholarships, but take out the and. Town scholarships, oh no, that's fine, never mind.
So here's the only problem I would have. I like the idea that sentence, it just puts into one sentence all those things.
Yeah.
But there's one phrase that might be a problem for having all of that there, because the introductory clause says the treasurer collector performs duties in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts as it relates to. So all of those things would seem to be related to the general laws of Massachusetts, whereas such things as payments to the regional school district, I don't know if that's pursuant to the general laws.
I believe it is. It is part of this state because they encouraged smaller towns to create these regional districts,
Okay.
and then
Yes.
they
and
built the legislation around that.
And do the laws also cover town scholarships, tax title collection,
No.
redemptions,
No.
or
Well, they would be.
foreclosures?
They would the tax title.
Yeah,
Although I say the way it's written now, Well, is that the way it's written in the current bylaws? Does it have all those clauses, most of those clauses in there now?
There's not much in the original,
Okay, it doesn't. Oh,
because we
wait.
had to rewrite the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, there was nothing, one line.
We'll have to get
Yeah.
that.
Two lines, yeah.
There's just the one paragraph.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
one line. See, when we talked, Chris, this is what they had before for treasurer collector.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we're
Town
trying
clerk
to
was
be-
half of that.
Well, let me tell you, I was going to go back to the regional school. It needs to be in there.
Oh, it does?
Oh, yeah.
There was a time when we tried to lower we voted at town meeting a lower amount for the regional. The other four passed a higher amount, and we tried sending in just the lower amount. And guess what?
We lost.
It ended up in court.
Well, I think we're all agreed that all those things have to be
In
there.
there.
The question
where.
is,
Where?
where we simply say in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, does each of the phrases that follow, each of the items,
Yeah.
are they in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts, or some in addition, such as the town
The
scholarship?
town scholarships I would
Okay.
think about.
Yeah, all right, so before we make any, let's see what Jen has to say in response to this.
Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't matter to me if we pull that regional school district down to the last sentence, or we leave it where it is, I'm
I think
okay.
Yeah, me
it's
too.
fine where it is.
I'm okay with it, wherever.
But do we need, because this would take care of it and have everything in one sentence without having a last sentence. Do we need to reference the general laws?
Oh,
We don't have anything in the current bylaws that say that for the treasurer collector. We could have a catch-all phrase and any duties required in accordance with or by the general laws of Massachusetts. Although we wouldn't need to have that. But if we don't put in something about the general laws of Massachusetts, then I think we can have everything in there, plus indicating having a catch-all at the end and all required, and any other required payments. But,
Yeah,
and I'll be glad to kind of rearrange that
Okay.
sentence, because it's not really just putting in a couple of things and,
all right, I can forward this to you then.
okay, so what
I
do you?
mean, after we go through the rest of it, yeah.
Yeah, but what do people want? I mean, do we have a consensus on that about the general laws,
I'm gonna look at
rather
it.
than reference it?
I would think you'd want to keep it in myself, but,
Yeah.
and if the town scholarships is one thing that doesn't maybe get regulated by the
Right.
MGL, maybe that could be the beginning of a separate sentence rather
Yeah.
than just
The
a
next sentence,
continual
yeah,
run-on.
the
New
also is
sentence.
responsible for,
Okay.
But
well,
if tax title collection, and I don't know about redemptions and foreclosures, if that's part
I
of
don't think
MGL.
so.
It
well,
also,
I have a way that we could do that. So is the general census feeling that we should leave something in about the general laws?
yeah, I think we should have the
Yeah.
general law.
I think,
Trying to find that.
I have an idea of putting it all in one sentence.
Okay.
And doing it in a way that has, because we have like general laws at the end, and anything required by the general laws that's not already covered here.
So
Something
from,
like,
sorry, from my notes, we had it after foreclosures.
We did.
Yes.
What?
We had-
Yes.
the regional school district.
And we did, and
Okay.
I changed it.
So we're over
because
that.
And I
wanted it.
like the way that you changed it.
Yeah, I do too.
So I think we can have everything in one sentence, and if
Yeah.
we're going, the general laws of Massachusetts, I would just put in a different part of the sentence, so it doesn't, so that we can keep in things like town scholarships, and some things that we don't even know, that for as far as we know, are not required by the general laws, but it's what the town wants to do.
So why can't we, at the end of the last word, put in accordance with the general laws of Massachusetts? Just add that to the end.
Well, because not all of that's in accordance.
Right.
True, yeah.
So
that's true.
I have
Yeah,
a way,
yeah, right.
I have a suggestion
Okay.
to do it in one sentence,
Okay.
that you
Yep.
can see.
So
You do.
I'll
I
send
think
it,
that-
I'll send
I
it
think that
to
will
you.
I think it will streamline it and still have,
Okay.
catch
Okay.
these things that we want to.
I think we could take out the town scholarships. We have them now. But by putting it in, it almost sounds like we're always going to have them.
Yeah, true.
And we only have them now
So
because
the transfer
the
station,
transfer station and the bottle and can.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if we take it out and just make sure that she is responsible for all
Maybe
required.
when we
required
get
payments.
to the transfer station section, we could write something as,
Yeah.
this is some kind of an option, you know,
Yeah, it could be, but
I hear.
it might be better in the transfer.
Okay.
To make sure that the town itself doesn't take
Right,
the,
because, yeah, because it
Funds.
looks like
they do a good
we're
business.
doing it out of our funds as
Right,
opposed
right.
to,
Yeah.
Whose funds does it come out of?
people drop all their bottle
recycling.
deposits, you know,
Right.
at the transfer station. They sort it, they redeem it, and at the end of every school year, they give, based on, I guess, academic achievement,
No. Any Southampton
they can
student
apply for a scholarship.
Apply.
can
Yeah.
apply
Yeah.
if they will do an additional, and I don't know how many hours of town,
Community service.
community
Yeah.
service, and are enrolled in some kind of further ed, but it's not competitive.
Okay,
All they have to do with those
is
things.
apply, okay.
And I don't know why more don't.
So that is money that is raised by, that they get from reselling the recycling?
Recycling the
Cans and
bottle
bottles.
deposit.
Okay, so those aren't considered to be town funds that, but they are town funds when that's done, right?
Well, I mean,
I
don't
know where you're going.
guess.
Can't
I
we
guess you're
word
right.
this differently and say any scholarships given by the town or something, or
Well,
or through the town?
But
or
Virginia
somehow-
raises the point that it may not always,
Right, exactly.
so-
It's, right.
Yeah.
but if we have a catch-all about all other required,
Yeah.
all other payments required by the general laws of Massachusetts or the town,
Yeah.
then we're
Doesn't-
covered.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that, because
Okay.
I didn't think it belonged in here.
Yeah.
Or if by
Yeah.
some,
Yeah.
a thing down the road, the state laws
Yeah.
change about
Right.
recycling.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's
Or
not
something
recycling,
else.
I mean, recycling is one thing, this is just the
Different, yeah,
bottle
right,
deposit.
this is just-
The 5
Yeah.
cents a
In the-
bottle.
Back in the
Yeah,
box.
but,
Right.
Yeah.
but it may be that
Right.
state laws change and you don't get
Right.
that.
Well, unfortunately, what looks like is going to happen, they're losing, there are fewer and fewer places that are willing to take
They are, yes.
plastics and those kinds of
That's
things.
true. Yeah.
Before we were getting paid by the ton, it's
Oh,
not going to be
yeah.
in the too distant future where we're
Right.
going to have to pay by the ton.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we may not have the wherewithal to be able to
Yeah.
use that money for this purpose in the
Right.
future.
Right.
We may need it.
And there is the PTO scholarship, but it's not for the town, it's through the school, and so
Yeah.
that's,
Okay.
Yeah. I
but,
think by putting town scholarships here, you're elevating that to a similar level to all the other things you've equated here, and this sounds like it's
it's required. That is
it's a little bit on shaky ground, but it's not
Yeah.
it's not as
I agree.
frequent as or
Right.
as
Yeah,
or
right.
I think it's a
Yeah.
good, I think it's a good point.
Okay, so,
I think it could come
Virginia
out.
Take it
raised
out.
and
okay,
take it out, take it out, Jonathan.
yes,
it's out.
okay.
If you're requiring all other payments.
yeah, that can be your catch-all.
So
That's fine.
I'll rewrite section 1, and
Okay.
then we can decide whether that does what we want, naming the things that really should be named, and still giving flexibility to the town for changing
Right,
conditions.
yeah,
you know.
that's good.
And also takes care of the situation with the general laws of Massachusetts where we really don't know.
Right.
But we at least word it in a way that says if they require it, then we do it.
Right.
Well, we found out when we were going to underpay the school.
Okay,
Okay, there you go. Up to number 2.
I don't see
let's see
anything.
anything in that. 3,
Paying money for certain projects.
Speaking of town report,
Do we need to say here anything
Where?
about, based on what we just went through, the will of the voters? Should that be in there as a caveat? I mean, they can only borrow money with the approval of the town.
That might be a good thing to put
oh,
in.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would think you'd want to do that. For certain projects or expenditures as approved by,
Well,
Well,
as,
but they're it's just making a report. It doesn't give the treasurer collector.
No,
well, number
number
two.
Discretion.
No, number
Number
two.
two.
Oh,
Yeah,
will issue bonds as approved by,
yeah.
Yeah,
the will of the
And do we
voters.
say bonds or just leave it as debt?
issue bonds to raise money as approved by, for certain projects or expended as approved,
So that comes in after what?
right, as approved by,
That's debt, after debt?
After
Yeah.
expend,
Okay.
after expended, as
expenditures.
approved by town residents.
yeah.
After, okay. And it always has to be approved?
Yeah.
by
Yeah,
town resident, by-
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
For any new debt? So, okay, do we have any situations where bonds are renewable or have we ever had bonds that it's like we do it for 10 years, but it may have to be renewed and the town can
And if we
it or
do,
something?
we would still
Then
go
you
the
still
same
have to
process.
go.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just can't roll.
yeah.
Right.
So you want to say that issues debt, and then where do you want to put in the as approved? You want to say,
At the end of that sentence, after
Okay.
expenditures, as approved by
Certain
town
projects or
residents.
expenditures as approved by town residents.
I would say town voters.
Yeah.
Only because residents, not every resident is a voter,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, and do we need to, voters would do,
people
I think,
will-
yeah. Because then you could have it either at a regular election, special
Yeah,
okay,
election,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it goes,
But it
Yeah.
has to be a ballot.
yes. So, yeah, because I think that's an important piece. I don't
Yes.
want people getting the impression, I think enough people think that,
Yeah.
that getting the impression that, either the select board or the town administrator, anybody on
Or
the
the town
committee incurs debt on behalf of the town.
right, yeah, you and Chris just raise our
Yeah.
taxes by will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just approved by town voters is good enough without
Yeah.
having to specify
Yeah.
anything further.
They
Yeah.
have a little spinning wheel
Okay.
down there, which they spin, and then they
Yeah.
Exactly.
Relay.
All right, so number 3 then.
I know it usually reads his, her, but because we did she, he, I thought I'd keep the same order, gender.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
that's fine.
That's an I say.
Okay. So 3 is okay?
Yeah.
All right. Then we look at 4. And I organized it this way. If you want to change it, but I thought that's what we had discussed.
Yep.
Is it these include but not limited to, or are these all the taxes possible?
That might be.
You're right.
to Put in.
There may be some new ones coming along.
Yeah. Jonathan, can you take after motor vehicle excise the comma?
So
Just motor vehicle excise tax.
Yeah.
Oh, the comma.
Yeah,
Right.
just the comma.
And do we want those capitalized in each case, as it is here? Do we?
I don't know where we pulled this from.
Yeah,
I'm okay
I'm okay.
not capitalizing them.
whatever, yeah. If we're
So where are we
gonna,
putting the, including but not limited to?
Well, let me ask you, is the boat excise tax one that's you see going on indefinitely? Is that,
oh, I would say, yeah.
okay. So, yeah, because naming it, it's the
Yeah.
same issue that Virginia raised with the town
Yeah.
scholarships.
Yeah. If
So,
not, more
yeah,
different taxes.
yeah, so it belongs in. How about saying these include the, and don't put in a colon.
These include but or is not limited to. Right?
Yeah, I think you want to have a caveat for something else that may.
Right.
Yeah. Or, well, there's two ways to say include, but are there any others?
But there could be.
There could be.
But these are the only ones now that are considered taxes. I guess other things are like permit fees,
Well,
right?
when
And some-
marijuana dispensaries
Right.
start showing up,
Yeah.
there's going to be that.
It'd be something.
Be a special tax, okay.
Yeah, so.
That'll be-
Well, why don't we say, so, and any other, why don't we just have a catch-all at the end? So it says, these include the motor vehicle
Tax.
exercise tax, boat exercise tax, real estate tax, and take out and.
Take out and, yep.
Put in a comma, personal
Yep.
property tax, and
But not.
any other
Yeah.
taxes properly, or
Any other taxes
Taxes
forthcoming? I don't know.
Oh.
I like what you said, but not limited to, or something like,
Yeah.
yeah.
well, I'm just thinking someone could say, when they see it, say, well, wait a second, does that mean you can just go ahead?
Right, and
Yeah,
again.
I mean, what are the
There was
other
a
taxes?
tax,
Yeah.
true.
What are
Right.
the, it's just.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think it sounds a little more definite,
Yeah.
even though you're not spelling it out, if you say, and any other taxes which are, what do you want to
Which
say?
may forthcome?
No, which are
may-
approved, all tax,
And
all
any
tax-
other requisite,
and all,
Tax requisite.
and any other taxes which are required, or any other required taxes.
Where does the tax on dining out, the restaurant tax go?
yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Does that-
And when you said the marijuana, it made me think we're already paying a meal tax and
Do we,
then...
yes, we have, we have a line on the budget for
But does the
tax.
tax,
Yes.
does the treasurer send out, does it send out a bill to the
No, I think it's
restaurant?
based on what they earn, right?
They have to turn that into the state and when it comes back.
Okay, so we don't really need to name
No.
that here.
And isn't the marijuana about the same way? Because it's a sales tax.
It is,
Oh,
but
yeah.
but there is like a portion that is allocated just for local. Now, whether it goes to the state and then comes back or comes directly to the
Well, there's no
local
way that
government.
the treasurer could issue a tax
No,
bill on it because it
no.
needs records
Right.
of it.
Oh,
And I
no.
imagine that, so if it's not done by the state, it's done by the town, but it's still not a tax
Right.
bill per se.
Okay.
It's only after whoever looks at what the revenues are and decides that's done properly, I guess. So I would say, and any other required taxes.
All right.
Yeah, just
If
to
people are
cover.
comfortable with that. And again, what do you want to do about capitalization?
We could lowercase them.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I'm fine with lowercasing.
Okay.
If we're going to lowercase them, then, yeah, keep them like in the top lowercase.
Just when you think you get it done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, sometimes until you visualize it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Would it help us, because I'm trying to think, how could we go a little faster? If we brought a laptop and put it up on the screen, manipulated the text here,
And you
Yes.
go.
all agreed
Yes,
to it, saved
yes.
it,
Yes.
rather than going
Go-
back, because,
I
you know,
agree.
I understand Janine's concern that when he makes these changes, we can't she
Right.
doesn't
Yeah.
distribute them
Right,
via
right.
email. We only hand them out at each meeting
Right,
so that
right.
they're available.
Right.
Well, we were doing that with
With Velda.
Velda.
Oh, I think we should do that then,
Okay,
yes.
all right, you have, I can bring mine, I
don't
I
have
know
a
we have a
laptop.
hookup here.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay.
She put it up there.
Yeah, we can do that.
If you want to bring it in, if you bring the laptop, I'll type. I don't care.
Okay.
I'll type. If you bring the
Okay.
laptop, I'll type it in.
I think that's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah, I do too.
Because, really, because, I mean, we go back and forth.
I know.
And it was taking twice as
Yeah,
long to do
right,
it this way.
right, yeah.
Than to do it,
I agree. Then we can actually see how the wording looks.
See what it looks like.
And make that
well, the
change right
great
there.
thing
Yeah.
would, the other great thing would be if we could hook it up to the printer.
Yeah.
Print it off here
Print it
so
right
that
off,
before they leave, you can take your copy with you.
Yeah.
So a flash drive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
all right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so I'll bring my laptop. You'll do the typing.
Yep.
I have some flash drives.
Is anybody taking any minutes?
Okay,
I am.
Okay.
all right, yeah. Jonathan is, yes.
Okay.
issues.
The minutes end up being these notes that we put on these
I know,
documents anyway.
yeah, I know.
So,
So we're on 4.2? Is that what it is?
yeah, so where did all this come from? I don't remember seeing it before. Is it
Well,
just
when
really-
we took out section 6, where we actually identified what quarters and when the tax bills went out. So we were talking about how all of that was going to appear as part of the fee and permit schedule.
Right. Yes, we did.
And so this is just referencing it.
Right.
So there'd be an annex with a fee and permit schedule?
Yeah, yes. Because other departments have fees and things, and without having to change the bylaw every time the fee changes, we just had a schedule that we're going to put together.
Sorry, I just thought of this.
Is that okay this way? I mean, I summarized it this way. That was my way of
I'm
taking it
fine
out.
with
I'm-
that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see where it came from in the other stuff.
It was
The
under,
whole
Doesn't-
thing.
Yeah.
The quarters and when you
For the
get.
quarters,
Yeah.
but that's out, right, other than
Right.
saying,
Yeah.
what you say in 4.2.
Yeah, we
Right.
took that out because of,
if it's ever changed.
right, dates, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But you still wouldn't want to say quarterly taxes rather than just quarterly without any dates?
Right.
Well,
They
Sometimes do an
will
annual
appear in the
tax.
schedule.
That we were referencing the schedule.
And just a typo, it says schedule, you have scheduled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
do we
would-
want to say
Lowercase.
something, add a word which in your phrase that every time we mention schedule indicates that it's, I'm not sure how we would do it, but we're putting it in for informational purposes.
Right.
So by having it in doesn't say that this is part of the bylaws.
No.
Right.
So I'm wondering whether we want to, every time we mention it, put in parentheses after schedule, the word, the phrase, for informational purposes.
Okay.
So we can do that.
For informational
Yeah,
Yeah,
purposes
that's
only.
fine, that.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the only scheduled tax bills are real estate, excise.
Water,
Let's not be specific, let's just leave
Yeah.
tax bill issue date.
Yeah.
water. Water fees.
Yeah, but that's different from
A
tax.
general tax.
Yeah, there are lots
Yeah,
of
that's-
people who have wells that
Right.
don't pay water.
Yeah.
Some people have their
Yeah.
wells.
But that's,
Different.
yeah. But this is this, if that works,
So
okay.
then, but every time the fees change, are you going to have to amend the bylaws?
No, that's why we
No,
have a
that's why we
fee
have the
schedule.
schedule.
The fee-
We will
but you're-
amend the schedule, not the bylaw.
Right, but you're appending it to the bylaw, right?
Right.
Yeah, so
How
we'll
else
change
do
the
we
fee
bylaws?
schedule, but not the bylaw.
How else could we do it then?
Well,
I'm
that's,
sorry.
that's,
We're talking about every time the fees change.
We've got it appended to the bylaw now, so I know you don't want to change the bylaw, but every time the fee schedule changes, you're going to have to,
You just change it online.
Yeah,
yeah,
somebody has to
someone's
go
got to change
in
it. I mean,
and-
mine just changed and someone found vital amounts from 15 years ago.
Yeah, it
So
isn't
it's just
just
got to be changed, yeah.
tax.
Right.
It's every fee.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Transfer station.
they can keep changing.
Yes.
I mean, they can
I mean,
vote to
yeah.
make it different.
Yeah, they've got
Yeah,
to
no,
change by bylaw anyways, to
What?
change the fees.
Oh, to change fees?
Yeah, we have to vote on those, to change the fees.
On all fees or certain fees?
I believe all fees,
Do we? I don't know.
don't we?
Well, you
We
don't have to
do-
do that
we
for
do
transfer
vote
station.
on-
Yeah, I thought we had to bring it to,
I thought, I know in the past we voted.
yeah, in the
for it.
past we
Yes.
have, yes.
Well, but did you vote, but when you do that in the past, was it with a bylaw change or just by a
The
vote?
fee schedule change.
Did it have to be voted by
If
the
it's
town?
There's a list of them that we vote on every year.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
And the maximum, for example,
Part of the budget,
Right.
yeah, how much the,
Okay, so that's voted on at the town meeting.
annual town meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
and how
So-
much of it they can spend and.
Right. Right.
Well, we can have I assume there's a bylaw, and if not, that indicates how fees are voted on.
I don't
think you
think
have to
so.
have that here, huh?
I think that should go in. If we
That
do
should go under the
general
general government
government.
That's the
section.
type of thing
Absolutely.
that would be good there.
Yeah.
And,
Along with Article 8.
and under the general government might be a place to say that there is attached for informational purposes only to bylaws, a schedule of all fees and other stuff.
Oh, boy.
To be modified as,
I don't like-
to be kept current.
All right, let's go over that when we go to general government bylaws.
And it may end
We'll
up.
have to bring that up
well,
next time with, because we're going over those
Yep.
bylaws next.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
I'm good with number 4.3.
Okay.
That looks fine.
4-3.
I'm also fine with
4-4?
4.4. Yep.
Well,
Well,
a little thing, this
Yep.
sticker in bags, one shouldn't have a capital and the
Oh,
other
yeah, right,
shouldn't.
yeah.
I haven't,
Lower
small,
sticker.
lower
Small.
cap
Yeah, yeah.
and pearl stickers.
And my
Yes.
thought is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
why don't we put these last two, 3 and 4, well, no, they're last in the section where it's appropriate. That's fine. Okay.
So that's something since I would pay my fee to the guy at the dump. So I would, it didn't dawn on me that the treasurer would normally be the one collecting these.
Yeah, you could pay them here, you could buy bags here. and I'm not sure they're happy about having to sell bags, but for days that the dump is closed, since it's not open, the transfer station, excuse me.
Yes, and they're kind of bulky, even if you're carrying a couple sizes around.
You know, the question, no, I don't want to go into it, but it did pop up. Didn't someone raise the fact that the Board of Health issued this thing about phasing out the use of plastic bags? What are we going
Yeah.
to do with our plastic bags from the transfer station? Are we going to be starting to use paper
That's
bags?
a good question. That's a very good
Probably a
question.
certain ply plastic.
Yeah,
about,
maybe.
your ones at the grocery store. Really,
Yeah.
really
Okay.
thin.
Right, yeah.
I'm sure there must be some excuse for a thicker
That is a
ply
good
plastic.
question, though.
Yeah.
I wish the newspapers would stop.
Okay, so,
So for 6.1 and 6.2, you want to put that just in one paragraph? That covers all employee stuff.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, we could say the treasurer's office is responsible for the production and disbursement of paychecks for all town, local, school employees.
And processing
And
all
processes all
benefits
documents. Yep.
documentation.
Yep, just take out the
So put in
treasurer's
a
office.
comma after
Yep,
employees.
yeah,
Perfect. Yep,
And then the word and.
yep.
Okay.
That sounds
And
good.
processes.
Under 4.3, when they issue the town water bills, suppose somebody doesn't pay their water bill, is the treasurer responsible for collecting?
Collection.
Yeah.
Their title is treasurer collector.
Yep.
So do we need to say anything to explain that a little bit further, and, to add the word collection in there, no?
Well,
Issues
it says
all bills
treasurer.
and receives
I think
payment.
there's-
And
I think anybody who's been living here long enough will know that if they don't pay their bill, they're gonna get the demand. So, we could add demand in there if we wanted to.
So before, Jonathan, so before you redo this whole thing, based on our conversation, I sent it to Jen electronically, so hopefully she'll give me her thoughts back electronically.
Okay.
Yep.
So that we don't do it once and then do it again. Are you okay with that?
I'm fine, but what I can do is,
You can do these?
I can do this first,
Okay.
so that you've got that. So send me
Or we can-
your copy, and then I'll make the changes and send it back to you.
Okay, then maybe I
And then
can
you
send
can
her a
send it to her.
revised copy.
Yeah,
and she
that'd
can
be
work
easier.
from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she
Okay.
probably hasn't looked at it
Okay.
yet, because she's been
Right.
trying to deal with it Glendale
Right.
Road and stuff, and.
And also knowing that in any event, what I do I may not have forgotten right for what we've agreed on, but at least there's something to give to
Okay.
her. She makes any changes, and then we just look at it next
Okay.
time and decide.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
And I just have a question. Christine, are you a visitor or are you?
Today, you would call her
Just a guest?
A guest.
Okay. I just
And-
wanted to know.
No, what we talked earlier, I think before
Okay.
you got here, was
Yep.
the fact that she may, based on her experience today,
Yeah, yeah.
or not,
Join.
based on her experience,
Okay.
be interested
Be
in
interested.
joining the
Okay,
group,
good.
because we do need other
Yeah,
help.
good. No, that's great. That's good.
No pressure.
Is Janine sick?
Janine had family,
Okay.
so she couldn't make it
Okay.
today.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, I think this is good, and I'll go ahead
so
and
too.
and
Okay.
prepare.
Do we want to move on to general government or should we?
Well, should probably take a shot at it.
Yeah. Maybe we could take a little shot because
Okay, I
it's
know, it's
11.
Which one?
The next item, general government,
Okay,
cross-reference with the select.
so I'm going to pass out, so I went online to see what our bylaws are. 'Cause
Yep.
what we've got is something that has been changed around a lot from the
Yeah.
previous committee, and it doesn't
Yep.
show, it shows additions and deletions,
Yep.
but it really doesn't tell you what it's additions and deletions to. It's not clear that it's always to what currently exists.
Right.
So I've gone on and I made a copy of, just for comparison purposes,
Yeah.
what it now says.
Okay.
And let me just make sure. So one copy each of that. And I'll got one here for
You have a
you,
bunch right
Virginia,
there.
for myself, huh?
Are they right there? No. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
there's that.
Thank you.
Do you have one, Virginia?
I'll share.
I'll
And I'm
run-
giving her
I'll
this
share,
one
I'll
now.
share.
No, you've got
We
enough.
have enough, okay.
And then I can also, just so you have it now, I'll pass it out again, the Article 7 on the restrictions on issuances.
Oh, for licenses?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, again, from the town website,
Okay,
just so you have it for when we get there. And then you've got a copy of my memo that I done earlier, just indicated where the different licenses are found.
Yes.
Yes.
In the bylaws, which we'll just be making reference to here and there. These are the three things.
there we go. Yeah, he's talking about this, he already went through and kind of crosswalked.
And I can bring you a copy next time, Chris.
Now,
Did he hand that out last week? Left?
6-6, yes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
must have been.
All right, we'll get
That's
copies
okay,
for you.
that's all right.
Okay. I guess it's so hard not being able to circulate stuff in between meetings.
It's okay.
Why can't,
First thing we need to do is change that section 1 to select board.
Yes.
And I have to go
Yeah.
through, I went through a bunch of
Okay.
that.
Now,
the select
last
board
week,
bylaw.
I thought you or Janine had indicated something about, you thought that we had maybe put that in the select board section already?
I did, I changed
You
all
had,
the select board.
okay, so
Yep. It should be.
that's an
changed.
Article
4, 5, 4.
3, I think it is maybe.
Article
Yeah.
3.
Article 3,
Yeah.
select board, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had changed all of them.
Into which section? Do you-
No, I'm talking about Article 6, general government,
And-
right on the top.
Section
Section
one.
1 should be the select board.
But this is right, what exists on the,
Yeah,
now.
right, so we haven't changed any of that yet.
Oh, so we didn't put it into Article 3?
No,
Yeah.
not yet. I gotta go through all of those and change them, so.
Is there anything on highways elsewhere in the bylaws? I'm just saying the proper place to put that. Doesn't seem to be.
on what? I'm sorry.
Closing the highways.
Well, is there anything about highways or streets in the bylaws to begin with? And it doesn't look like there's any broad article on that. So why don't we just move section 1 to Article 3? And we have to figure out where in Article 3.
Okay.
Okay, sure,
Yeah?
on the select board. This would be-
person shall coast?
We've been, yes.
Yeah.
We took that out. Somebody went and found it. What
Yeah.
was it, back in the old days?
Yeah, they-
Kids
Yeah.
used to grab on
Right,
the
yeah.
bumpers of
Yeah.
cars.
So
Yeah.
we want to delete that? Okay.
I think that could go away, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But there's, from time to time, you do.
And annual state audit, don't we make reference to that in the treasure section? That we
No.
just,
I don't think so.
I thought, no?
Because that
Or the-
really falls more under the town accountant.
I would say, yeah.
Than it does under the treasurer.
Yeah.
And is there a town
But it's-
accountant
Yeah, but there's
article?
a state and independent.
Right. Yes.
So we have to add,
But it- I,
But there aren't 2 audits every year.
We had talked about it. Is it in the select board area? No.
Well, they authorize it.
Because
Yeah.
remember Vicky came up and we asked her about it? And she said the select board is the one that
right, that approves
approves, yeah. But it's
the
the same
selection of
auditor
the
every year.
auditor, yes.
so I would have sworn that this has come up somewhere in our discussion.
Yeah, it came up
Yeah, just with-
last meeting, yeah.
Just with Vicky?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why, what was she addressing?
Because we were talking about it in the select board
Right.
Yeah,
bylaw. If the select board is the authorizing body to order or
audit.
select the auditor.
and
And Vicky had said that she normally deals with she's the only one that
But the select-
deals with them, but
but the select board makes the
Authorized,
decision.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Based on recommendations.
Right.
So, but how did that even come up? Was she looking at Article 3? Did
We
already
called-
have
no,
some-
we called her in
I
when
called
we-
her in.
Yeah.
Yeah.